on the UTSA Roadrunners Sports Network. Welcome to the Frank Wilson Radio Show, live at Walk-On's Bistro and Bar. Presented by Methodist Healthcare, the official hometown healthcare provider of UTSA Athletics. Also brought to you by H-E-B. No store does more than H-E-B. America's Diamond, official jeweler of UTSA Athletics. Pizza Hut. Order now at pizzahut.com. No one out-pizzas the Hut. Sports Clips. When your hair needs a break, it's time for Sports Clips MVP Haircut Experience. Claim your spot today. Check in online at sportclips.com/check-in. And by Credit Human, proud to be the official credit union of UTSA Roadrunners. Bud Light, game day's favorite light lager. Now, live from Walk-On's Bistro and Bar, voted #1 sports bar in America. Here is your host, Andy Everett.
And good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Frank Wilson Radio Show. Live at Walk-On's, it's presented by Methodist Healthcare. UTSA has won its last 3 games, and it's homecoming week as we get set for Louisiana Tech coming up this weekend. Coach, how are you doing tonight?
Doing well.
A nice win against Rice last week. The defense was spectacular from the get-go. I know that's a season low in points for Rice, and you guys dominated them defensively on Saturday night.
I thought so. I thought our defense played its best game yet in all aspects. You look at from a rushing defense perspective to hold an opponent yet again to less than 50 yards rushing, from a pass defense standpoint to have 3 interceptions. And just to play relentless in style of play is something that we're certainly excited about in our defensive style of play.
Yeah, you got the turnovers, and that's one of I think you have 14 turnovers now for the year, and I believe that ranks in the top 20 in the nation.
It does.
That's what you're always striving for, isn't it?
It is. You know, when you're able to go +4 in a game, create turnovers, and not turn it over to your opponent, you give yourself opportunities to win the game.
You held them to 47 yards rushing. That was another big number for them. They got a couple of big plays in the pass game, but other than that, they didn't get much.
No, not at all. I thought the quality of depth that we have at the defensive line position allow us to continue to bring guys in that can play at a high level, that can play fresh. Our secondary is probably our most improved unit on our football team. The first 3 games of the year was challenging for them. They stood to the course, improved their technique schematically. We've done some things that are different, and it's allowing them to play at a high level with confidence.
And you were without Clayton Johnson and without Andrew Martell, and then Cassius Grady steps up and almost got a pick 6. He stepped out at the 3-yard line.
You thought he stepped out?
I didn't think so. No, well, I didn't think he did, but they said he did.
Yeah, you're
He thought
right.
he scored. I think everybody else did too.
Yep. So, no, it was an outstanding play to defend the ball, deflect it, have enough awareness to then catch it, and then enough know-how how to go toward the goal, to dodge a couple, and have some toughness to try to run over the last defender. In that case, to try to get 6 was a big play and a turning point for our team.
Yeah, and then Brendan Johnson had a scoop interception fumble type thing there at the end of the game. It didn't get in the end zone because of the penalty, but right place at the right time.
It did get in the end zone, and we had a bonehead mistake. It was, you to get pick 6 or turnovers to 6 points when your defense is providing that type of the defense is providing that type of momentum change by not only creating the turnover but touchdown as well is a big deal. And the guy who caused it on 4th and 1 that popped it loose and Brendan was able to receive it is the same guy who got the infraction, and it was a legitimate call. He did it.
He held?
Yeah, he did it. And the guy had nothing to do with it was the quarterback.
Yeah.
The quarterback was out of the play. He had no reason to even touch him, and I guess he just wanted to be a bully.
So, that's the way it goes. Did Brendan say anything to him?
No, he was so excited. He was smiling from ear to ear, and chest bumping and high-fiving. He didn't.
All right.
He was excited.
We mentioned this in our post-game show. The offense is so close to really breaking out. And I think you mentioned it Monday during your roundtable. It's just that fine line of execution. It doesn't matter how you get there. At the end, you got to execute the plays, and there's maybe one or two plays a series that's really preventing you from going from good to great.
The best thing is to look at us on a Sunday, on a Monday staff meeting or team meeting on Sunday, and watch the plays. And it's one thing if when we put on the film, we watch it and say, you know what, we're just incapable. They dominated us, and we have a long way to go, guys. We have to improve our personnel, or we have to change everything that we're doing in style of play as far as play selection. And it's not. But the reality is that execution supersedes all. And so you still have to execute the play. It doesn't matter what the play design is. If it's executed properly, you have a chance of success with that play. And so we're calling plays, and guys are open. Runs are open, and the execution, one reason or another, hasn't always clicked, and it's hindered us from being successful on those plays. When you're able to point that out to your team, they still have enough confidence in saying, okay, we can do this. We're our own hindrance right now. We need to fix those things.
All right, we saw the Wildcat formation kind of, maybe not for the first time, but used a lot with Matt Guidry. Talk about how he performed there.
I thought he did a good job. He makes them account for all 11 on the field in a day and age where you load the box and account for receivers and back, that the quarterback, who is a viable threat because of his run skills, and he was also a high school quarterback, so he has a unique ability to throw the ball well also. And so we'll continue to develop that portion of our game, and hopefully it can pay dividends for us.
You ran the jet sweep a number of times, that flanker in motion, fake it to him or hand it to him.
Yeah.
And the first couple times it didn't work. But then it opened up other things when you fake it to him. The defense keyed on it. Running back cuts through behind him and gets a big gain.
It's like Novocaine.
Yeah.
Just keep on going, keep on going, keep on going.
It's going to numb you to sleep, right?
Yeah, then eventually it pops. And that's the thing about the play. Even when you get, because of the speed, the width of the play, sometimes a 3-yard, 4-yard gain doesn't seem like enough when really it is enough, and it makes the defense go from sideline to sideline, and it wears on them as well. And then you're able to take your shots in the middle and then bring them sideline and sideline. Yes, again, where they have to defend the entire field.
34 minutes time of possession, +8 in that stat. You love that number, don't you?
You do, because here's where we're at right now. We're an offensive team that when given a short field by turnover or special teams, we produce points. I think we're 12 or 14 on the year, something of that sort. Number one in the conference and tied with many in the country as the number one red zone team in America. And so we're able to take advantage of that when we get short fields. And when we don't, although we're not producing the numbers that we would like for touchdowns, we're extending plays, and it's 10-play drives, it's 11-play drives, it's 12-play drives, and it's keep away from your opponent, and it allows your defense to get fresh as well. And so when you look at us holistically as a team, we're playing team football that allow each one of our units to play at their best. Ideally, we'd like to be a team that can create big plays and go to the length of the field and get touchdowns as well. Right now, we haven't really hit that stride, but we are keeping the ball away from the defense, and we are not turning it over. And when we do those things, it allows us to be in position to have success.
All right, we got a bunch of special guests out here today. Coming up in the next two segments, we'll visit with C.J. Levine and Josh Dunlop. Also in the house tonight is Nate Gaines and Marcus Davenport. We'll visit with them in a little while as well. It's the Frank Wilson Radio Show out here at Walk-Ons. And Texas Farm Bureau insurance members can get 2 free tickets to Roadrunner football games when you show proof of membership at the ticket office. Visit texasfarmbureau.org/sports to learn more. The Frank Wilson Radio Show from Walk-Ons and from Learfield. Wendy's uses fresh beef on every hamburger every day. Try it for yourself on a Dave's Double and taste the difference fresh beef makes. Fresh beef's available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada. The Frank Wilson Radio Show rolls on from Walk-Ons out here at I-10. UTSA and La Tech Saturday afternoon. We get underway with the coverage at 4, kickoffs at 6 Our broadcast will be on the Bull 92.5 and 93.3 and all the other places along the iHeart Network, and go UTSA.com. Joining us on the show right now is one of the upperclassmen, if you will, on the offensive line, and that's Josh Dunlop. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks for being here. You have played, I think, every position but center, and that's only because they haven't gotten enough centers hurt to get you there yet. So haven't you?
Yeah, that's right. We have been bouncing around on that line a few positions, but wherever coach needs me, wherever I need to step up, I'm willing to do that task. So I'm thankful for that. Thankful for that opportunity.
Frank, talk about how special that versatility is to play either side and either position of the line, because not everybody can do that.
They can't, and we do our best to try to cross-train our guys. And generally, they may flop from guard to tackle, but on one side of the ball. Josh has the unique ability, the uncanny ability to play on the left side or the right side, the blind side or the front side, depending on what we need done at that time, and has bumped inside and has been a great puller for us as a guard, a down blocker for us as a guard, but at the same time has the ability to play on the edge against the defense's best guy. And that is the edge rusher, the guy who comes off the edge to try to sack the quarterback. He draws that responsibility from a pass game standpoint.
Josh, talk about switching back and forth, because you got to know not only what you're doing at one position, but you got to know what everybody else is doing at the other position. So that's a lot of film study in case you have to move around, and also kind of learning all the different blocking assignments for the entire line.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely been a challenge, but everything kind of just comes right after each other. Playing tackle starting out in the or playing guard actually starting out in the season. I had to learn some different positions and how to get my footwork down. But once I bumped back out to tackle, I'd already played it, so it was all wasn't new to me. So I knew from the previous season that it was stuff that I had already covered. So the transition really wasn't as challenging as I thought it would be. I've actually enjoyed it mostly, because there's good parts about playing guard and tackle. I love it both.
Is there one you like to play better than the other, or is it just I'll do whatever I need to do?
It's really I'll do whatever I need to do, because
that's not true.
I mean,
he wants to play tackle all the time.
Okay, I guess I would say I like tackle a little bit better, but
don't tackles get paid more in the NFL?
That is true.
No, not anymore.
Not anymore?
No, they have guards that equal the pay of a tackle now.
There you go.
Yeah, the guard has his fun times too. So both sides are pretty fun.
Yeah, but the guys you're blocking at guard are 320, and the guys you're blocking at defensive end are a little bit lighter, right?
Yeah, definitely different guys, for both spots.
All right, let's talk about the offense and getting, you got so many young guys on the offense this year. How do you get this offense cranked up like I know you guys want it to be?
Yeah, we got younger guys definitely based off of last year, but, like I was telling them earlier, if we want to become great, like the goals we aspire to reach, we have to just trust within each other, have great communication when we're out there in front of all those people, because, a lot of those guys can get nervous when they look out and see, like, oh, there's a lot of people looking at me. But I'm just telling them, like, look, we just do what we do. You don't have to make up anything new. Just do what you were coached, and we'll have a great time out there and make some great things happen for this football team.
Yeah, that's something that's kind of hard for young guys to do, because they go from high school playing in maybe in front of 10 or 12,000 to playing in college in front of 30 to 70,000, and you got to tune that out, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. I had to do the same thing when I came from my junior college, and playing my first Division I collegiate game at Baylor at their place was definitely a huge transition. So I was telling them, hey, I've been through this before. It's really not a bunch of stuff to worry about. So you just calm down and do what you're coached to do. Be fine.
What are you doing in the classroom?
Right now, what am I studying?
Yep.
Communications, actually. So
you want to do this?
Yeah, kind of like what we're doing now. Yeah, I
You're
love
pretty
this
good at
kind
it.
of
So.
stuff. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
He has a gift for gap.
Yeah. Well, that's always great, because I know who I can go to get interviews now, so I know who's going to talk.
There you go. Yeah.
We have these conversations that he comes up with things that he want to discuss that I may have said no to. And he has a unique ability to have come back and ask it in another manner. And I said, well, Josh, didn't I answer that already? Well, technically. And he gives me a new approach.
So he's going to be a lawyer.
Yeah. He speaks very well, though.
Yeah. All right. What about Louisiana Tech this weekend? Big game coming up against the Bulldogs.
Definitely, yeah. We have got them all scouted out. We're pretty excited to get back out there. I was telling these my own linemen, a 3-game win streak can be just as dangerous as going 0-3, because we can't get comfortable with how we're approaching these games. Oh, we've been winning all these games, we'll be fine. I was telling them that's not how we approach this. We have to go in there thinking, never underestimate your opponent. And so, we had them all scouted out, and I was just telling them, hey, look, guys, we got to go in there and play with everything we got. We can't take anything for granted.
Very well. Thanks so much for being out here tonight. Continued success. Have a great 6 or 7 or 8 games coming up.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Josh Dunlop with us, everyone, out here at the Frank Wilson Show. Whether you're moving, remodeling, or just cleaning out some space at home, Life Storage helps make it easy. Call 844-LIFE-STORE. Go online to lifestorage.com. Life Storage, it's your life. Store it with care. We'll visit with CJ Levine coming up next. The Frank Wilson Show rolls on from walk-ons and from Learfield. Health Texas Medical Group is about your overall well-being, not just your health. Their commitment to you is outstanding care every patient, every time. We're at Walk-Ons, voted the #1 sports bar in America. Join us before, during, or after the game. UTSA and Louisiana Tech on Saturday evening in the Alamo Dome. Homecoming, get your tickets, 458 UTSA, online at goutsa.com. We are joined right now on the broadcast with CJ Levine. He is the defensive back for UTSA. Welcome, CJ. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing good. Thank you.
All right, let's talk about the Rice game, because that was a memorable game for you with 10 tackles and kind of all over the place, weren't you?
Yeah, I really was. It was a great game for me. I didn't know that I was everywhere until after the game. Coach came up to me and told me that I had 10 tackles, and that was a career game for me. So I was very excited, and all my teammates was excited for me as well.
Well, one thing Frank talked about in the postgame was your ability to support the run. So not only do you have to cover the pass, but when it's a run play, is get up there and help out there. Talk about that a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Me and Darryl, that's what we've been working on every day after practice. And Dwayne has also been there with us to help us out as well. He's been giving us techniques, and we then also started a new thing in the morning to loosen up our hips and everything. And working out every day is it's a better movement for us, and it's better motivation for everybody.
Frank, talk about the safeties and CJ leading that pack back there and his evolution as a Roadrunner.
It's been a beautiful one. You watch 2 years ago when we first got here and where he was then and where he is now. And I would challenge him. I'm very frank, no pun intended, with the guys. And so I said to him, I said, it's about time I need you to make plays, because he's awful talented. Smart, bright mind, has ball skills, has toughness. And he would never do anything that was wrong, but I kept waiting for him to make the big play, to stand out. And this year, I challenged him yet again. And from spring football to fall camp to this season, he's answered the bell and has come up to me and said, what do you think about that? I said, I like that. That's a good thing. And so just very proud of CJ and the job that he's done this year.
Talk about him challenging CJ and how that has made you a better player.
Yeah, every day we came out to practice because they'll show our scores from one-on-ones, and if I lose a one-on-one, he'll make a big deal about me and Kevin Strong. We are the only players. He'll make a big deal about it. He'll make it seem like we lost the whole world. But we go out there to the next day, and he'll be like, "Oh, you gonna make a play today?" I say, "All right, I got you. So in the back of my mind, I have to make a play. And at the end of the day, once I finally make a play or an interception, I go up to him. You see, you like that? You see me out there? They say, yeah. So it's very challenging and it's very exciting.
We're going to talk to Nate Gaines here in a little while, and Nate was part of the defense the last couple of years. How much did he help you and leave with you after he graduated last year?
One thing he left was his hard-hitting. So I got one of those abilities from him, I guess, because now I'm out there laying people out myself. But Nate was a great competitor, and he was always out and very open to helping us out and getting us to where we are today.
This is kind of the evolution of the family that you talked about when you first got here, Frank, is that the old guys helping the young guys, and now guys like CJ are helping some of the freshmen and sophomores. And once a Roadrunner, always a Roadrunner type thing, isn't it?
For life, a Roadrunner for life. And, it was so exciting at the beginning of this week to work hand in hand with our alumni association, with our development team, marketing team, and extending ourselves out to our former players and alumnus all the way back to the original 18 specifically for football, but every other graduating class that have been here to invite them to this festive day on homecoming this upcoming Saturday. And so it's a part of our family. Each person who have gone through this program have contributed in some capacity to make us what we are now.
What are you studying in school, CJ?
Sociology.
What are you going to do with that down the road?
I don't know yet. Eventually I'll be a coach, but I really want to go into train conducting.
Do what?
Train conducting.
What's that?
A conductor on the railroad.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I remember Jay Riley talking to you about that and be a train. Where's the interest in that?
When I was little, I always I had a love for trains.
Perfect.
It's a good profession.
Yeah.
A profitable one too. They make good money.
Yeah, I'm sure. I know they do. I've heard some of that stuff, and it's a job that I would think it's in high demand as well. So, what do you think of Louisiana Tech coming up this week?
We just have to stop the offense and be very disciplined in our game plan.
Jamar Smith's a pretty good quarterback, run-pass option guy. Talk about defending those guys. They're always a challenge, aren't they?
Yeah, but we face several other quarterbacks, but I think our matchup against him will be very different. It won't be the same against how we played against others.
You were telling me yesterday the communication between all the defensive backs is getting better and better, and those first 3 games against those really good teams helped that out. Talk about that a little bit, if you will.
It was just being able to get the signal out to everyone from the left to the right, and being able to change once you see a formation, and being able to adjust and get the right call and the perfect call in a certain situation is what we are looking for. And for me, that's big on my part because I'm the free safety. So I have to be the main one able to
the defensive back quarterback.
Correct everyone. And if I'm wrong, they're wrong. And if they're wrong, I'm still wrong because I have to be able to correct them on spot.
Very well. Thanks so much for being out here tonight. Continued success, and we'll look forward to seeing you make a bunch of plays the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right, CJ Levine, everyone. Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino Hotel invites you to come and play, located in Eagle Pass. You're just a short drive away. Visit LuckyEagleTexas.com for more. The Frank Wilson Radio Show rolls on. We'll visit with Marcus Davenport and Nate Gaines coming up. It's 7:30. The Frank Wilson Radio Show from Learfield. Radio show rolls on from Walk-Ons. It's presented by Methodist Healthcare. Bud Light's an official sponsor of UTSA Athletics, reminding you to enjoy responsibly. Well, it's homecoming week, and joining us at homecoming is Marcus Davenport back in San Antonio.
What's up?
All right, Marcus.
Every time I turn on a Saints game, you're making a play. You're having a pretty good rookie season so far in the NFL. How's it been for you?
It's been a learning process. It's continued progression, and that's all I'm looking for.
What's the most fun part about playing in the NFL?
Winning. Winning. The locker room afterwards, being able to be with the likes of Cam Jordan and Drew Brees and just all my teammates. They're really great people.
He broke a record last week. How much fun was it to celebrate that with him?
It was great, but I think the best part was being able to seal it with a win.
Yeah. You've been around some great players now, and what's the difference? Is the speed of the game a little bit more than you thought it would be? Are you adjusting to that pretty well?
Yeah, honestly, it's just getting comfortable with your game and expanding it and realizing that the best player that you played throughout high school, throughout college, is the player that you're going against. It's the best of the best, and at that point, you got to believe that you're the best.
Yeah. Have you watched? How much have you got to watch Marcus play this year?
This past week, Monday night, got a chance to see him Monday. Did you see my awesome tweet?
I did not.
So the whole world was going crazy about Drew Brees, and so my tweet was about Marcus, and then I ended it with, "Oh, my bad, Drew. You're kind of a big deal as well." But no, it was an awesome night for the New Orleans Saints, an awesome night for Drew Brees and what he has done for that city, and to top it off with the style of play that Marcus was able to display, during that game was certainly something that was gratifying for us.
What's something that nobody would know that you've been able to do because of the NFL? I've seen some of the interviews that people have done with you before, and what's been the most unique thing about the process from getting drafted back in April to signing with the Saints and playing in games?
Pertaining to what I'm doing because of the NFL?
Yeah, just what's a story that nobody might know about that you want to share that is fun about being a part of this? I know winning games is always fun. You're playing with a great team and a bunch of great competitors in the NFL.
Honestly, it's just the best part has to be like the outreach capabilities. I've been able to go to the hospitals down in New Orleans and help out a local Suno team, get their championship rings because they deserved it. They won the national championship in women's.
The youth basketball?
And the youth basketball, sending them to the national game. They came up third. They were only off by one game. They really could have won it. I think my favorite part is my grandfather. He's about to be inducted to the NCAA Hall of Fame for a track coach.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Southern in New Orleans. He's legendary there.
Yeah, tell me about. I didn't know that about that in all the years you were here. Tell me about him and what he's meant to you as not only as a former athlete and a former coach, but your inspiration as well.
Honestly, so when I was younger in high school, my dad and my grandfather used to make me go out and run track, like no choice, every day for about 5 years. And one day I decided to quit, but I had to come back the next day. So, but
it lasted 24 hours. Huh?
Lasted 24 hours. But I think the thing that defined me was when I came back and we worked through it. I got to college and I had to tell them that they were right. That everything that they did for me, it paid off, and that it has been working.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Who do you have after the bye week?
Shoot, I haven't even thought about it yet.
The bye week's coming at a good time, I guess, huh?
Yeah. We were focused on that one game, and now I'm focused on recovering, getting my body back right, and then I'll start again on Monday.
I've seen you in more four-down stances than ever before at UTSA. Was that any kind of an adjustment that you had to make?
It was a slight adjustment. I started my first 2 years like that, but overall, it's just it's football. To getting back to like little basic things.
Yeah. Well, Roadrunner for life right here, and the first one that's made it this far in the NFL is the number 1 draft pick. Hopefully, a lot more to come down the road.
Hopefully so. The question you just asked him, Marcus had a unique ability to be able to get in a 2-point stance and still see and generate power. Predominantly, no different than an Olympian or a track athlete. They would get in a runner's stance to generate power, explosion as they go into the offensive lineman, or to beat them around the edge, speed to power. And so one of the things that was so appealing that defenses throughout the National Football League, whether they were a 3-down team or a 4-down team, he had the versatility to do either or. And he did some of it here as well on certain downs and situations.
Very good. Well, enjoy your time off. Enjoy the week in San Antonio. We're glad you're back and glad you spent the evening out here with us at Walk-On. All right. We'll switch the headset here and bring up Nate Gaines. Standing ovation for Marcus Davenport. Nate Gaines was the safety for UTSA for 4 seasons. Got a lot of playing time as a freshman and certainly a big part of UTSA over the last several years. And we welcome Nate Gaines to our show out here today. Nate, what's been going on in your world?
Well, been back in Dallas training at the Michael Johnson Performance Facility. Got a call from Daryl Johnson from the AAF. We've been talking on a week-to-week basis. So, the plan is to come back to San Antonio, play for the Alliance San Antonio Commanders.
Right.
And hopefully, get to play in front of a lot of these guys and make the city proud.
There you go.
All right, Nate.
You get the chance to continue the dream. That's the most important thing. And I know this is going to be a league that may get some guys that didn't get to the NFL yet an opportunity to get there down the road.
That's right. That's essentially what it is. It's NFL developmental league, for the guys who had that shot but just didn't quite make it. it gives them the perfect opportunity to get 1 or 2 years of film under their belt and then have those NFL guys bring them up.
What was the your first work through camps? Did you get any big invites? Did you get to stay out for an extended period of time anywhere, or is that still something you're working on?
That's still something I'm working on right now.
All right, and then how did the AAF opportunity come up? Did you contact Daryl Johnson, or they knew who you were and said, "Hey, come play for us"?
Yes, they reached out to me. They actually reached out to my agent. And my agent, he called me one day after workouts and told me, there's a huge opportunity. They're holding a camp in Houston, but they went ahead and told my agent not to worry about it and I'd have to attend. They saw enough film and they're just interested in going through their further evaluation of signing me.
All right, Nate. All right.
Frank, talk about your memories with Nate Gaines and how important he was to the Roadrunners, and another one that's pushing that Roadrunner for a life legacy.
A guy who recklessly threw his body around in his tenure here. And, we had to, as our game continues to evolve and the safety of it, Nate is a throwback. He's a throwback from a physical standpoint, that he's a violent guy. And so we had to kind of redefine his target points, because he would be the guy that tried to take a head off. And so we needed him in games. And so we had to kind of adjust his target and get him in position where he could play the duration of the game and still have the physicality and the presence that we needed there. I think he'll have an opportunity to play in the Lions League and have a great career. And hopefully it'll jumpstart another opportunity for him, because he has intellect, because he has range, because he has physicality, because he has leadership skills, and everything that you look for at the safety position. As you were talking to CJ, and CJ was speaking about Nate and what he did for those guys, there's so much that happens with the free safety position as the quarterback. When the offensive unit comes to the field, they have to recognize the personnel grouping first. Second of all, the formation that they're aligned in. And then any type of shifts or motions, the adjustment to it. And then the tendency of what they do out of that personnel grouping, that formation, and that adjustment in about 10 seconds. Mm-hmm. And so he was charged with doing that for us, and will be again in the Alliance League, and it's what CJ is having to do for our team right now, a very critical position that's a premium. And so it'll be important for a team to take a serious look at his capabilities to man that position.
Very well. Nate, thanks so much. It was fun watching you play. I look forward to watching you play for the Commanders.
Thank you.
All right. Nate Gaines with us out here tonight. Chanted Rock Vodka and Rebecca Creek Whiskey are proud sponsors of the Roadrunner Sports Network. Raise your glass to the Roadrunners. Always drink responsibly. More of the Frank Wilson Show, live from Walk-Ons, coming up, and from Learfield. Wendy's uses fresh beef on every hamburger every day. Try it for yourself on a Dave's Double and taste the difference fresh beef makes. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada. Frank Wilson Radio Show rolls on from Walk-Ons. And Frank, Louisiana Tech is this week's opponent. Talk about the Bulldogs. How good are they?
They're a pretty good team. The reality is in the last decade, the last 10 years, they've been the team in Conference USA West, for sure the last 6 years, that has been most consistent, that has sat atop of our conference. And so when you have goals and aspirations to go out and claim and compete for a conference title, you put a laser on that person that's at the top. And so they're the team that we look forward to playing on a yearly basis. They're the team that we chose, even with all of their success, to play on our homecoming, to give us every reason to play our very best in our venue.
Jalen Ferguson's one of the best defensive linemen in the country, let alone the conference, isn't he?
He is right now at the active leader in the country at 34 sacks, 33 and a half sacks, one away from tying it up, I believe, with J.J. White or Dwight Freeney.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll tie Dwight Freeney, and with eight sacks, he'll lead the nation. He'll be college football all-time sack leader. So he's a guy that we recognize, and that he has garnered our attention. We'll have to game plan accordingly to make sure that he doesn't totally affect the outcome of the game. And, there'll be times where it's Josh Dunlop. Did he walk out of here? Because Josh will draw him.
I figured he would.
And so, but they're a quality team, not just him. Their entire front four are all seniors. So they returned their entire front four. They returned their entire linebacker core and a veteran group of secondary players. They're a good defense. Offensively, they throw the ball around very well. They have at least 4 receivers that have had 100-plus yard games throughout their career. So an opponent that we recognize who they are, what they are. But, again, our preparation and our attention to detail will determine the outcome of this game, not necessarily them. If we're able to play to our ability, I feel very comfortable with our team.
And another run-pass option quarterback too, right?
He does, but he doesn't. He's going to want to throw first before he runs. Okay. Even when he escapes, because they're not design runs. Although he has ran times, he's tucked it when things has broken down, but he stays in a quarterback profile, if you will, or a thrower's profile. It's not like when it breaks down, he's tucking it and wanting to run. He's wanting to hit a receiver on the run, more specifically.
All right, we got one more segment to go. We'll get to that coming up. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance members get 2 free tickets to Roadrunner football games when you show proof of membership at the ticket office. Visit TexasFarmBureau.org/sports to learn more. Frank Wilson Radio Show rolls on in a minute. This is the Frank Wilson Show from Learfield. We're back on the Frank Wilson Radio Show. UTSA takes on La Tech on Saturday evening. Our coverage begins at 4. We'll be on the Bull 92.5 and 93.3, the iHeart Radio app, and GoUTSA.com. Before we wrap things up tonight, I want to send some heartfelt condolences to a member of our broadcast crew. Jay Riley and his family are going through a tragedy at this time. They lost their son early Sunday morning on our way back. We learned that on the way back from Houston. And so those of you out there, whatever your faith and conviction is, please keep Jay and his family in your prayers as they cope with a very difficult time right now. And there's no really words to say to kind of put that in perspective, but we want to pass along our condolences to him.
Certainly. Yes, sir.
All right, let's talk about Louisiana Tech and how do you beat the Bulldogs?
I think we got to run the football. We have to be able to run the football to be able to generate some offense. We'll have to put together drives. We cannot continually go 3 and out, nor can we put ourselves in 3rd and long situations where they can pin their ears back and come after us by sending the house in a blitz situation. You look at the game a year ago, the score's 13-6 with 2 minutes and 40-something seconds left in the game, and I thought we took tremendous steps considering the outcome in our first year. So we have closed the gap. We were in position. We're a much better red zone offense than we were a year ago. We had opportunities down there that came up without any points. So I like our game plan from a defensive standpoint. We'll have to tackle well. We'll have to defend the pass. But from an offensive standpoint, we'll have to put drives together, and we'll have to score points to win this game.
And we want a big crowd. It's homecoming, so buy tickets and come out and in droves. Let's have a whole bunch of people out there.
I tell you what, it'll be the difference in the game, our crowd. And they make a difference in the game. And when we get the city of San Antonio behind us, when we get our alumni behind us, our former players will be in the building. It'll be a great day. It'll be festive. It'll be live. It's everything that you can want in a college game day atmosphere. I think our tailgaters have a cook-off and open to the public for everybody to come eat as much as you want to eat. So we encourage you all to be there from the tailgate, the Spirit Walk, all the way into the Alamodome. You cannot stay in the parking lot, though. You have to come in.
Yeah, you got to be there by 6 o'clock. Exactly. And Marcus is going to flip the coin. Is that right?
Are you? Are you flipping it? Yeah, he's going to flip it.
All right. So we got to make sure we get him a 1-0 in the coin flip here, too. So.
Yeah, got it.
All right. Thanks so much, Frank, for being out here tonight, and we'll look forward to the game coming up on Saturday.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right. We will join you at 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon for the Credit Human pregame show. We hope you'll be with us if you can't be at the game. And if you can be at the game, buy your tickets, 458-UTSA, and online at GoUTSA.com. Have a great evening, everyone. It's coming up on 7:58. The Frank Wilson Radio Show from Walk-Ons and from Learfield.